Yeah, one of the things that I would add to that, that's all excellent stuff. What I would add to that is relationships. Man, you and I, we're blessed. We married up, right? And
Without a doubt.
yeah, and I think any spouse that's married to especially a skilled trade business owner out there, you're a special person, especially if you can stick to it.
Yeah.
But one of the challenges that I had was, I had the technical part down. I was a good operator, although, I tell people I never went to Harvard Business School, but I know I paid the tuition a couple times over by some of the stupid things I did. Anyway, I digress. The biggest challenge was the work-life balance. Just like you said, those 30 hours, or 80 hours a week or whatever it is, even if you have a supportive spouse, even if you have, kids that are just awesome, eventually it's that drip of, well, dad's off doing his thing, taking care of his customers. And what I ended up with was, to my wife, my business sort of turned into her, like, the other woman, right? Because I was giving all, even when I was around, I wasn't around. My brain was, worried about making payroll this week or whatever. So my advice would be that even if you think you have a strong relationship from the gate, you have to set up habits of trying to be there. And that's a skill, man. You have to work on is when you're at home, and try and figure out a way to carve out time with the kids and show how you really feel about your loved ones rather than focusing 100% on that business, because that got my butt in counseling more than once.
No, that's well said, Martin. And the whole human element piece is something that we don't teach in school. We teach how Ohm's law is calculated. We teach what pressure, temperature, our 454B is supposed to be. We get all the science and math. One thing that's missing is our soft skills training. And we, as Service Logic, we're really focusing on that, because you can train a person to do air conditioning, service, maintenance, repair work. You can't train an HVAC person to be a good human. There's a difference. You can polish up a turd and shine them, because you and I are examples of that. There's something there that you can polish. But if you're not working with a good rooted person, it's hard to get the human side polished, and it's even more difficult for them to build their own EQ skills in order to communicate with people. And whether they're communicating with their spouse, or whether they're communicating with their customer as a tech, or their customer as a business owner, or the bank, or the leasing guy at the vehicle shop, or whoever, you have to have that human element. And, it's fun for me because I've taken the DISC profile test a lot in my life, DISC. And I probably have taken that thing 10 times now, at different stages of my career and at different mental places in my development. It's amazing how you do mature, and how your personality is shifted by time, but more so by dealing with more and more situations you never thought you would have to deal with. And being a business owner, by God, you will deal with some stuff you have no idea about yet. But that's what makes us grow. People don't grow. I always go back. Somebody said a piece of coal doesn't get to be a diamond with no pressure put to it. So, when you're in the incubator and you're cooking, that's when you're being conditioned for learning, if you choose to learn. So I think the whole human side, to your point, is so spot on. And that's what I meant, I guess, a little bit too, by you're going to be worn out, because you're going to try, as a dad, as a mom, you're going to try to fill the void. And the void is at home, or the void is at work, or somewhere in between, depending on what time it is or where the crisis is. But you have to really to your point, make time. And, for Connie and I, we put it on our calendar and still do. We have date night. We go out, we go to dinner once a week, pretty regularly. And that's what we do that day. So you have to set boundaries, because being an entrepreneur forces you a lot of times to do things you didn't think you would have to do. I'm not talking about immorally. I'm talking about commitment of time. So you have to carve it out and you have to put it on the calendar or it won't get done.